All right. How's everyone doing out there? A bit of a tough day on my end. I won't get into it today. As I talked to Jazz earlier, he knows what's going on, but I wanted to still do a show today. We had the show planned for a while. Wanted to still do the show because for an hour I can take my mind off of things that have been going on and talk Star Wars, which is a great
Oh yeah,
what would be the word? Way to kind of a little bit of escapism for an hour.
a diversion, man. Like I remember when I
Diversion.
lost
Yeah.
my when I lost my mother 2018. Like the day after I came back, that's when Solo dropped, and me and you went to go see Solo together.
Yeah.
And for a few hours, going to a galaxy far, far away was appreciated. And it's like
Yeah.
I definitely know when you're dealing with some major stuff, and kind of getting being able to, you handle the stuff that you're having to handle and process it, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice to go to a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's perfect way to word it. And I couldn't think of a better person to have sitting next to me than the one and only Jazz One for episode 159. It's our Kenobi React. Kenobi, Obi Wan Kenobi, season one, Obi Wan season one. React. And we got one of our friends over on Facebook. Yeah, Presley and Jazz One. It is a good day. Thank you for jumping in with us and joining us on a bit of a matinee time for us today, doing the show at a matinee time. How do you like doing a show at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Jazz? It's a little different than when we normally gather.
I have better lighting. Like I feel like I look better. Have a little bit more energy.
Yeah, yeah. Same here. Same. I'm gonna boys early afternoon to mid afternoon are kind of like my most prime time for like energy level. I think
Yeah.
creativity level where I come up with ideas probably morning, like mid morning after I get up and get some caffeine. Things start popping up my ideas. Okay, Kenobi talk we're gonna do, and then also at the start of the show we're gonna have a Thunder take that is Marvel related. We'll have our usual tropes on this episode 159. We're gonna do it agree or disagree, thoughts and advice, all the usual fun stuff. Me, Jazz One. This was another show we've been watching this month. I'm just gonna play a little bit. Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen. I know you've seen this because we've talked about this show.
It's Solid Gold, starring Marilyn McCoo, with Solid Gold recording stars Kim Carnes, the Oak Ridge Boys, Waylon Flowers and Madam, the Solid Gold Dancers, and very special guest, Soldier Boy.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ's spinning, I said, my. Flash is fast, Flash is cool. Francois Sapah, Flash ain't no dude.
Okay. I had that stuck in my head the entire next day after I watched that episode of The Boys. Oh man. Just goes to show you there's so much to talk about this month with the streaming. It's the streaming wars like we've never seen before with Prime Video dropping the third season of The Boys, Netflix dropping the fourth season of Stranger Things in 2 parts. We're going to get the second half of that in July. Kenobi premiering on Disney Plus. It's wild.
Well, it's like every summer we'd normally get like summer blockbusters at the theater, right? And I guess during the pandemic, we started getting good, better movies and series, at
Yeah,
home. Like
yeah,
I almost feel like we're like getting streaming blockbusters now,
yeah,
and
yeah,
especially some of the series.
yeah. So yeah, we are, and they all have their own IPs. Netflix, that's probably one of the strongest. I think the strongest Netflix IP. Ozark, I know was pretty big, but they've wrapped up already. And then Prime Video, they really have become the streaming service of the real edgy, dark superhero genre with Invincible and The Boys, and then there's an animated Boys
Yeah,
series
yeah, yeah.
spinoff. And I heard they're also doing another live action spinoff of The Boys, which is going to be kind of like the Junior Academy at Vought
Oh,
with
that's
the
interesting.
Yeah, with the younger
Yeah.
version of the seven, I guess, or the seven in training. So anyway, it has been blockbusters for streaming this year. It's been with the three big ones coming out with their big IPs competing against each other, and really pretty much not. I don't know about if you call it competing, because people probably watching Kenobi also watch Stranger Things. I think everyone that watched Stranger Things season 4 probably also watched Kenobi. So they
Yeah.
both got our money.
Oh, I hear you.
The boys I think it appeals, even it's a wide audience, but it's a pretty wide audience, but I think not white. I'm not saying white, but wide with a with a with a net. I'm not being racist. I'm saying it's a wide net being thrown out on
Yeah.
who likes the boys, but I don't think it's as broad as Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. We've discussed like how superhero movies and TV shows have become
Mhm,
popular and stuff, but the
mhm,
satirical stuff, everything going back to like Kick Ass and, you know,
mhm.
I guess you could even say the same thing about Deadpool. It's
Yeah,
kind of dealing with tropes. Like I really
mhm,
love The Boys because like you can tell who every character is supposed to be. You know,
mhm,
yeah, it's like Homelander, Superman with a little bit of Captain America.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Maeve is Wonder Woman. The Deep
Mhm.
is Aquaman.
A Train, The Flash
Oh yeah, absolutely.
would be their version of The Flash, yeah. So, that's been on, and, we're gonna get into Kenobi, and then we have a Marvel Thunder take, like I said at the beginning of the show. Let's roll the opening thing.
Thunder Pop. It's time for Thunder Pop. Don't make me say it again. Thunder Pop, Thunder Pop, Thunder Pop. I will not say it again. Thunder Pop. Okay, I lied. Thunder Pop, Thunder Pop, Thunder Pop. Oh, Thunder Pop.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
here we are for 159, Jazz 1, and I wanna ask you a question. We talked at the beginning of the show there about the streaming wars and the battle of the, 3 big shows right now this month that are airing on the 3 giants in streaming. But we didn't get into Marvel, which is another huge IP, and Miss Marvel that is
Yeah.
is out this month as well over on Disney Plus, with more Marvel series on the way, and also Thor in the theaters coming up here pretty soon. Love and Thunder about to drop. So I want to ask you this. I had a lot of people lately that have been commenting whenever I would post something on Marvel, like a Marvel meme or some news on Marvel on Instagram or TikTok. Little kind of back and forth here about Marvel where people are saying, I'm starting to get a little bored. Like these characters, I consider them like these are some of the comments, not coming from me, but some of the
Yeah.
comments I've read online. The B team of Marvel is what we're seeing now, and I'm not sure if I'm there for it as much as I was for the originals. Another comment I read was they hit their peak with Endgame. How could you not come down after that? So, what do you think? Is the MCU about to hit a kind of a valley after a peak? Are we going to see maybe them having to maybe dial it back a little bit to get so there's not a burnout? What do you think?
I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be the level of storytelling that they do. You know, it's like okay, Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk. You know, we all know just about everything about them, right?
Mhm.
You're telling a story, and you gotta stay between these two ditches, right?
Yeah.
But like Guardians of the Galaxy, unless you're like a hardcore like comic book head, you probably didn't know too much about Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Yeah.
they had more freedom to tell more interesting stories, and it wasn't anything like
Mhm.
a lot of the other MCU stuff.
Yeah.
Like Moon Knight wasn't like the most popular character, but
Mm.
you got to see some really interesting, out of the box thinking with
Mhm.
Moon Knight,
Mhm.
and then it's like been watching Miss Marvel, like the first couple of episodes, I thought it was kind of like almost like the Marvel version of was it Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just a teenage superhero, but
Mhm.
yeah, just like this last episode, where it kind of uses some of their belief system
Yeah.
and stuff, and like talking about the jinn and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is going left. Um, I mean, I just think some of the B team stuff, they have a little bit more freedom and can do more things with it.
Mm.
Whereas
That's a good
you
point.
know, an Iron Man movie, he's going to be rich, he's going to be this, this, and that. I think they can get more creative with some of the B and C team characters.
Yeah. Well, and it's also opened it up for them to be able to introduce. And how cool was it for me, being half Hispanic on in May during Cinco de Mayo to see finally a major Hispanic character in the MCU with America Chavez, and it was on the week or the month of Cinco de Mayo that we get to see that character make its rollout and premiere in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of
Oh
Madness,
yeah,
and having a prominent role,
yeah,
not just a cameo. That was a big part of that movie. So it could have very easily been,
yeah.
like she was the Peter Parker in that movie, kind of took Peter Parker's place
Oh
as the
yeah, I would
side
say
as
so.
the main sidekick, yeah, to
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. So and he's probably now 2 movies back to back. He's probably tired of hanging out with teenagers. Doctor Strange.
They are exhausting.
The the curmudgeon magician from the big city, uh, and having to do 2 back to back movies with teenage sidekicks. He's like, "This is for Hawkeye. This is not my gig." This is
It's gonna
Hawkeye's
be like
gig.
Up with superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're getting into.
It's like
By the
Up
way,
with superpowers.
it's like a super exact. Oh, and by the way, our AI, cam, that's what we've named our camera, our,
Oh yeah.
AI camera, working real smooth today. Oh, okay, you ready, Cam? Let's do it. Let's do it. I love it, love it. Okay.
We live in the
All right.
future.
We are in the future. Oh my goodness.
Like we don't
Here it
have
is.
flying cars, but we got automatic cameraman.
No, yeah, we don't have flying cars yet. We don't even have the flying hoverboard from Back to the Future 3 or 2, sorry, but we do have those thank you, Cam. We have we have AI cameras. We also have Kenobi on Disney Plus that wrapped up this week on Wednesday. When you jump off a ledge into a fight, but then realize you just gave up the high ground. Never a good thing, as Obi Wan Kenobi knows. Nah, this wasn't done by Sand People, which now is a derogatory term. Ben, how do you know? Anakin killed them all. So, and then when you realize that if Obi-Wan's confusion was actually visible, you wouldn't need subtitles to tell it. And visible confusion at the bottom there. And then when I peek around, Cam tries to follow me over. That's good. My 2 favorite people in Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, also Obi-Wan Kenobi, but slightly older. There he is, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, first of all, as we've now finished this season of the show, and I want to first ask you, going into it, what were a couple of things that you expected to see and that you got? And then what was something that you didn't expect to get that you got that you were glad you got?
Okay, we all wanted the Kenobi tropes, right? We
Mhm.
wanted hello there. We
Yeah.
wanted, you know, that lightsaber pose. Like
Yes, yes.
there's some things that you were just expecting, right?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was going to be a little bit more Luke centric because he was like guarding Luke,
Yeah.
but like baby Leia, like little Leia, I mean, that
Yeah.
like not quite Baby Yoda cute, but like, and that little girl could act like, we discussed about halfway through the
Oh,
season. It's like so many
yeah.
kids in TV shows and movies feel like they're just
Yeah.
reciting the lines and not really
Hmm.
acting. But like,
Yeah.
you know, like she was acting her ass off. Like I was so impressed by her acting, and not
Yeah.
just her, just everybody on that show.
Mhm.
The Reva character, you know, and yeah, I thought it was amazing.
I saw a video today, maybe on YouTube or TikTok, of Riva doing her martial arts like lightsaber training. And also one of the scenes that the scene where she battles with Darth Vader, at the behind the scenes. So it was without all the
Yeah, I
back.
saw it too. Yeah,
That was cool.
all the CGI or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before they brought in the CGI, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Um, by the way, shout out to Justin Kirchhoff over at the co-production house in South Austin, who had me and my buddy Kirk-O-Matic invited us over last month into May, and he put up a Hoth style in they have the volume LED. The only place in Austin that we know of
Yeah.
that has that technology is at Co-Production House, giving you another shout out there. And they put up a Hoth Empire Strikes Back set for us to walk around and take pictures and enjoy while, hang out and visit. And
Oh, that sounds
so
amazing, man.
it was so cool. So they had the snow flurries, and you look through the little like fake window, and it was pretty amazing. So
Yeah.
I had a blast with that. Anyway, yeah, so that was cool to see that footage, and yeah, how acted this cast was no weak. For me, there was nobody in there that was a weak point, but the Leia actress is a breakout star that I would imagine at this point she's going to be getting a lot more things going forward in the future. So look out for her, the young actress. We had some return of some very familiar faces with Jimmy Smits reprising his role. Uh,
Oh
e-
yeah.
uh, the original Uncle Owen that was in the prequels. The actor and actress that played
Oh
Uncle
yeah.
Owen, uncle and aunt, were brought back to do their roles, and he's a much bigger actor now than he was when those prequels came out. He was an unknown, but he's actually been in a lot of stuff himself now in recent years.
Oh yeah.
um
Absolutely.
so it's cool that they got him to come back and do this, and then a big surprise at the end. Now, did you see that coming? Did you see that build up where we were going to get Master Qui-Gon
I,
Jinn?
I was like, is it coming? No, is he going to show up? And then when he showed up, I'm like, oh, that last episode, I was either like clapping in my apartment alone by myself, clapping at the TV, or I was shedding tears. It was just like one or the other. Like
Yeah.
that one definitely, yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, so it delivered on a lot of things that I think fans were asking about. Would we see the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn? And then when they didn't see it, and we saw a struggle for him to communicate and be able to get in touch with his master Qui-Gon Jinn, we didn't know if that was maybe something they were going to save for maybe a future season, which we'll talk about that here in a second,
Yeah,
or what it ended up being at the finale. And on Disney Plus, so after we got that initial closeout of episode 6 with the
yeah,
closure with Riva, and also he meets Luke. He actually does meet young Luke, but he decides he's going to go
yeah.
ahead and move on from that point on for a while at least. We know because we know what happens in 10 years down the road, is a whole other thing. And by the way, I want your comment that you told me earlier that this is now your favorite trilogy in Star Wars, possibly, is Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah,
Kenobi.
yeah, like Revenge of the Sith, Kenobi, and A New Hope. Like
That
I
might be your new
like that
favorite.
story arc.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean
that's the
it's
Kenobi
one
arc,
hell of a
isn't it?
story arc.
That's kind of the
I would
Kenobi
say so.
Luke arc. Yeah, kind of more Kenobi arc. Yeah, because it
Yeah,
wraps up with A New
absolutely.
Hope.
Now I tell you, one thing that hit me like twice, like real square in the chest during Kenobi is I guess it was like episode 3 with little Leia. Knowing like Leia and Luke are adopted. Like I'm an adoptee myself. And like 99.99% of the time, I'm super cool with being adopted, right? But if I see a TV show or movie documentary about adoption, even though I didn't have like those adoption issues, when I see other people go through it, it hits right in the chest, right? And like when Belle was like telling Leia she's an Organa, and then it was like when Riva and was it Owen were going at it, and she was like, it's like you love him like he's your son or your boy or whatever, and he's like, he is my son. I am like, if my dad wasn't already passed away, I would have drove home that morning just to give my dad a hug. Like, it was just like, oh my God. Like, being an adoptee, like those things just hit a little different, like with Ray not knowing who she came from. I'm like, I know that feeling, but it was just, that really kind of hit on a personal level. But man, just the every frame that Anakin Vader was like on screen was like every frame was like iconic, and it's like I felt like as much as we got like the sequel and the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, that we just would never get any, Obi Wan or Vader. Like we were happy to get 45 seconds of Vader in Rogue One, because we were just like badass Vader. But what we got in this episode, this series, was just incredible, and what it adds to the canon. Before the show today, I started rewatched that 6th episode, but also watched A New Hope. And just kind of seeing the connecting tissue and stuff, like it was it's been interesting. It's been good.
Have the rules changed on how new Star Wars fans would watch these shows, where it used to be automatically New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, maybe the Star Wars Christmas special in the middle there? No, not really.
Yeah.
And then you could then after that, all you had was the Ewok movie. I think there was a couple of Ewok movies, and then Droids animated series. But now, would you watch these different, and in what order would that have to be in? That would have to be the prequels first. Then you could start arguing what would be next. If you include the series, include the series.
One of the magical things about Star Wars is like this is a property that goes back to what, 76, 77, right? And like when you're watching A New Hope, you're watching late 70s technology filmmaking, right? But like that was our entrance, for a lot of us, especially folks of a certain age, that was our entrance. Like, that was our own ramp to it. What I've found kind of amazing is like how many people's own ramp is the prequels. I remember a lot of us that loved the Holy Trilogy hit on the prequels. I got my mind changed by a friend on it. But a lot of people's entrance was the prequels, or they found it through Clone Wars, or or think about how many people have found Star Wars by Grogu, Baby Yoda. It's just I think it's interesting that there's multiple on ramps. Like their own ramp may not be mine, but I'm glad they're watching it.
Yeah. Now you could go, if you wanted to, you could go prequels. Then you could go Rogue One. No, you could go prequels. Then you could go Kenobi, Rogue One, New Hope. But then you have Clone Wars in there too, and Rebels, and Bad Batch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could include those too. So yeah, you could go, and then before you go to the sequel series, of course, Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett in between so yeah, you can have a lot of binge watching for several days if you include the shows now in the middle.
Oh yeah.
So and more to come. More to come. But I like your idea. I like that setup of doing a Kenobi arc with A New Hope, with basically would be the Revenge of the Sith, Kenobi series, New Hope. Yeah. So and then we get the big payoff at the end.
Yeah.
With the hello there when he meets Luke.
Now
Now, was that the first hello? Was that the only hello there we got on this 6 episodes? I believe so.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. He said it.
Yes.
He said the thing.
Did you know when you saw that episode and you saw that we're getting we're gonna get the meme, the DiCaprio meme? Did you know that was coming?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask you this on the in regards to how things finished and what that might mean. Now we're hearing what I've heard is Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor have said they want to do a season 2, which I was really surprised to hear from both of them, that both of them are saying that. And then I've heard through my sources, which is Reddit, that the reliable sleuths on Reddit. But anyway, I've heard that we are in fact getting a season 2. It's already a done deal. It may not have been officially announced,
Oh
but that we
damn.
are getting a season 2, and they've pretty much had that kind of in the bag for a while. But this whole thing with them kind of teasing it is just to get it hyped up and get the fan base excited about it. I've also heard that George Lucas is could be getting involved in season 2. And then I've also heard that there might be a extended cut of the finale with more Darth Vader
Oh
stuff
damn.
that could premiere
Oh
later
wow.
at a later date. So there's just some things I've been hearing. We'll see which of those things I think are true that you can go find online is that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor have indicated that they have interest in doing a second season. So let me ask you this, based on where things were left off. And by the way, when we see that the last scenes where he meets Luke, he goes back for a bit and then leaves. He finally gets contact with Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost. Those things are kind of like what we get at the end. The whole thing with Reva and how she gets her kind of tie up on her arc and her closure, and then she goes away. So let me ask you this. First of all, when that little window closes on Disney Plus, I know we're not getting an end credit scene. So I know that do you know what I'm talking about when you're watching it and then that the show's
Yeah,
credit
yeah.
and it closes to the side, you're like, no end credits. Because I thought
No post-credit scene.
I thought we might get more. Like I thought, oh, there could be something else. I'm waiting,
Yeah.
and then I saw the window close, and I'm like, I thought, are we gonna get Maul? Like, is Darth Maul gonna show up? And it's a tease for season 2. I don't more Vader. Like, oh, by the way, another payoff at the end. They earned the moment. Was we did get a Palpatine at the end, talking to Vader.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think? What'd you think about that moment with Vader and Palpatine? That was a little bit of a unique thing we've never seen there as well.
Oh
Their
yeah. I
interaction
thought
they
that
were
was
having.
interesting. Part of me was thinking like Palpatine was going to show up and like force lightning on Obi Wan, and that was how he was going to age 20 years in 9.
That would have been brilliant. They
I
missed.
was just waiting for that to happen, bro.
They missed a cue there. Opportunity. They missed on that because now they only have 10 years for him to age the amount of age that he does between where he's at now. And I think Ewan McGregor kind of made himself a little bit more aged for even playing this version of Kenobi. Because I'll see a commercial with him. I saw a car commercial or something with him a few months ago, and he looks considerably younger in the car commercial. Of course, there's filters, I'm sure, or makeup,
Yeah.
but he looks considerably younger in that than he does in Kenobi, where they obviously didn't want to make him look too young because then you deal with even more of the critics saying, how is he going to age that much in 10 years?
No,
So
man,
I
I
think if they,
keep we call it people get typecasted in my head. Like I'll see them in a certain role, and I don't care what other role they're in. They're just that character doing that, that role.
yeah,
But I'm like, I saw him doing Train Spotting, right?
yeah,
And now I'm seeing Train Spotting guy like being Obi Wan Kenobi. I'm like, yeah, this is a one hell of a career for him.
yeah. That might be the first thing I saw him in. Was Train Spotting. I'm not for
Yeah,
sure,
I
but
think
I
that's the
remember
first thing I remember him in.
I know it was in the 90s when I saw it for the first time. Okay, so with everything the way it was left off there at the end, what did you see? There maybe a little hint of them setting some stuff up for a season two, and if so, where do you potentially see that going? And I know you said on the last show we did together that the window was pretty tight for potential more stories here
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Kenobi.
It's like you mentioned Maul, and in the episode of Rebels where Maul gets uh, cut in half the other way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you know, uh, you see Luke in the background,
Did he
far
get?
away,
Did he get?
and
Did he get mauled? Did he get mauled?
he's half the man he used to be. A quarter now, but
Oh my goodness.
but
Oh
you
my
you see
goodness.
one shot of the we call it Owen and Beru's place,
Yeah.
and you see a very young we call it a very young Luke. So that had to be while it was far off, it seemed like it was younger than 10 that he is now. But
Mhm.
man, Baru, man, she was, hiding guns, and man, like it was like Baru was ready. I wasn't expecting her to be like that. Like, if they didn't kill her off early, I think she would have kicked the whole empire.
Think she was gonna do it herself, all on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so a potential setup could be maybe a just a kind of a Kenobi unfinished business between him and Maul for season two.
No, no, I'm convinced Maul is already dead.
Okay, so that wouldn't fit. That
Yeah,
wouldn't fit
dude,
with the timeline that you're
yeah,
aware of. Okay,
yeah. I
so
would
it have
say
to
it
be.
almost maybe 5 years earlier.
It doesn't make sense there to be anything left for them right now between him and Vader, based on what we see in New Hope and then what we saw with this season. It doesn't seem like there would be anything left between him and Vader until New Hope. Doesn't that make those? Doesn't that seem to be the
Yeah.
case?
And see, that's my thought, man. I heard this was just going to be a limited series, kind of like,
Yeah,
you know, a beginning end to the story. And like, I really like
yeah,
how this episode 6 leads up to everything in the New Hope. Like, I think
yeah,
it's a perfect bridge between those. But money, people like money, like Disney likes money. Like I could
yeah.
see them trying to, put out a Kenobi 2 series. I don't know if that's going to be the jam. Like I don't know if there's enough stories um,
Hmm.
to tell between there and a New Hope. Like I thought it was
Yeah,
interesting how with a Kenobi series, man, we knew Luke was going to survive. We knew,
yeah,
Leia was like you knew who
yeah,
was going to make
yeah,
it to a New Hope, but there was
yeah.
still stakes, right? But yeah, I wouldn't
Hmm.
mind if they instead of going like Kenobi season 1 to Kenobi season 2, uh, but maybe if there's a what we call it a Vader series,
Could be a
and
Vader.
you have
Yeah,
Vader, like you have Kenobi in it as much as say Vader was in this one. If it's six
right.
episodes, maybe you get two really solid Obi Wan episodes where their paths
Yeah,
cross, or bring in some other characters, man. You know, I think
yeah,
it always comes down to the writing. Can they tell the stories? Can they find good stories? I know everything doesn't have to connect with everything else.
hmm,
While Lucas said it's like poetry, it rhymes. It can be prose. Like you
hmm.
can just kind of go in your own direction. I'm kind of curious to see what's coming up next.
Well, I know people have asked for. I've heard on read online. A lot of people like the idea of an Inquisitor series. The Vader thing, kind of like what DC is doing right now, where they
Bruh.
made it.
Wait.
Oh, huh?
We want the Office version of the Inquisitors.
I'm there for that. Let's make that so.
You got like you got the Grand Inquisitor who's like Michael Scott.
By the way, the Grand Inquisitor,
Uh,
the memes with the Grand Inquisitor are hilarious. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen a few of these memes.
yeah, the one that he's about to call HR.
Yeah, and then there's the one where he's doing a hidden camera prank show on Riva. And he's back like
Oh
watching.
no.
Yes, and it was all a prank on her. It's like based off of an actual prank show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's back there with the others, and they were like laughing. And he said, "She thought she, was the Grand Inquisitor. We got her." So yeah, it was pretty funny. There was some funny memes. I got an office question for you on agree or disagree too. So that's perfect that came up.
Oh,
That's
segue.
it's a segue there. Yeah. So anyway, I enjoy this show. I think kind of like what DC did with Black Adam and Shazam, where they came out with a Shazam standalone. That was one movie. Now they're going to do a
Yeah.
Black Adam movie before they do a movie with the two of them face off together.
Oh yeah.
So kind of like where they get the Kenobi show, and then you're going to get, could get a Vader show, and that would be really cool. That like this could have been a setup for Vader now, the next stage of Vader's arc, that he's going to finally let go of the Kenobi thing and become a better Dark Lord
Oh
because
yeah.
he's not hanging on to the old Kenobi baggage for now at least. Okay, so it is a segue into agree or disagree on this 159th episode of the Thunder Pop
159.
Show. Yeah, and here it is, season 7, gonna be wrapping up in early July. Season 7, going on a break and working on a project with this guy. Me and this guy working on a project. We've been cooking something up. We're working on a little thing. So we're gonna do that while we're off from this. I'm gonna go be working on me and we're gonna be still working together on something else that is a lot of fun. We're pretty excited about it. Okay, so agree or disagree, and if I can get past my to-do list and get back to the actual agree or disagree uh section, we'll be doing
Should you
really
clean
well.
out the gutters today?
Yeah. I'm gonna go instead, Jazz. I'm gonna go over my to-do list. Now here it is. Speaking of The Office, Rainn Wilson, who he wanted to clean the gutters out, and we had a repair we needed to do on the garage door. I'm out of milk, and I need to go get some milk before I pick up my son from preschool. Okay, agree or disagree? Rainn Wilson, who played famously Dwight in the original Office series, was recently asked
Yeah.
in an interview. You may have seen this, where he sees what came of Dwight in the last decade since The Office went off. Like what has Dwight been up to? And he had some interesting takes. I'll read a couple of things to you from what he said. The synopsis in this interview, I believe, was with Gizmodo, the original interview. He said he prepared himself for the zombie apocalypse, which never came, but he probably would have done a build out for some underground bunkers, food storage, weapons, stuff like that. So that would have occupied a lot
Yeah.
of his time. Uh, Also, he probably is figuring out ways to make the farm more profitable. Probably a Schrute Farms roadside stand with the money beats on top. He's a capitalist, so he would have bought a lot more buildings in and around Scranton, which he apparently it was revealed in later seasons that he owned the building that the paper company was in.
Yeah, he bought it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
he
think
bought
he
the
bought
building,
it at
Dunler Mill.
sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, done the building that they were. So he was the owner of the building. Also, he perhaps even on some kind of crazy right wing ticket, not a racist right wing ticket, but he would have been kind of part of that flat Earth right wing ticket, is what he said, and he would have been running for some kind of city council in Scranton. So based on all this stuff, and we just talked about Kenobi, and we got to finally see what Kenobi's life was kind of like after the prequels and before
Yeah.
the sequels. Would you want to see a Dwight standalone, maybe a 6-episode limited series on Netflix or Peacock that would cover what he just talked to Rainn Wilson just proposed here in this article? Agree or disagree? You want to see that show?
Man, they did a sneaky trailer for it already. In that last season
Oh,
of The Office, they
yeah.
basically did a trailer for The Farm, which they went out
Oh,
to his farm, bunch of his family,
oh,
like it
yes,
was a
yes,
low-key pilot, for that
yeah,
show. I
yeah.
think 2022, I think he would be doing like Airbnb, lease a room or
At the
something in the
farm.
house there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, or the barn or something. You know,
Mhm.
I really think there's something there. Like I still can't believe like they let that pass. You know, like I
Yeah,
thought
because
The
that was going to be a
Office.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
The farm was going
I've
to be a
heard it came
show.
close. Yeah, and I think it
Yeah,
was
and
going to
they
be called The Farm, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. Yeah, so what I guess I'm saying is these are some good ideas, and then I like your idea of now he's got an Airbnb going.
Yeah,
Dwight with an Airbnb with his creepy family.
Moe's. Yeah.
Mose, bring back. You got to bring back. You got to bring back him.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
show. Then you can have like guest stars on each episode. People staying in the Airbnb, and it also lends the opportunity to bring back former Office cast members, guest starring as they stay at the Airbnb. Maybe they have the hotels are all booked up. They had no choice, and you could have Jim and Pam come back, other characters as well for guest appearances.
yeah.
Make this show
NBC,
already.
listen to us. Listen to us. I want to
I
watch it.
I think we need to start the campaign because it sounds to me. I bet that Rainn Wilson's. I think he sounds like he's ready to do it. So, okay, so you're
Bruh,
you're you're
if
you're
they
you're
can
there for it.
do a gritty Fresh Prince series, they can give me this series. You know.
And it was a hit. The Gritty Fresh Prince show is a hit. So yeah, absolutely 100
Yeah.
on that. Okay, so here's the other question. Here's the next agree or disagree on this 159 episode. Speaking of streaming, Netflix is now saying that it seems to be a done deal that they're planning to start add. Let's get our music in here. Add an ad version of their streaming service that's going to have commercials.
Oh hell. I
Yeah.
think
So
Amazon Prime is doing that with TV, like
yeah,
VE or something.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's not a bad idea. You know. Um,
Do you agree
yeah,
that they
I
should
wouldn't
do
be
this?
mad at it. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So the
it's
way it
just
would
finding
work,
the model that works.
yeah, the way they said it would work is it would offer be a lower price version of their subscription service that would be for people that maybe don't have Netflix now because it's out of their price point of what they're willing to
Yeah,
pay. But they say, I don't mind commercials. I'll pay less and take commercials. But do you think this is like the beginning of the end though for Netflix, or do you think this is fine? This is what's going to keep them going.
I think it's going to be more what keeps them going. I mean,
Yeah.
you're looking at a company that used to send DVDs to you in the mail.
Yeah.
Like they can pivot. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just. I mean, I think it was at not Disney Plus, HBO Max. I think they do.
Yeah.
Two levels. I think it's the $15 and then $10 version.
Mhm.
I don't think it's with ads or something, but there's just something a little less about it. Um, yeah, I mean, I think just having kind of the basic service, not a bad
Yeah.
move, because like for me, I've heard polyamorous people have their polycules. I have my streamacule. Like I pay for some of them. Another friend, I think there's about 6 of us, and
Yeah.
not that I'm admitting to sharing.
Didn't hear
But
it here.
no, it's like, yeah, but it's like for me, like I'm going to have Disney Plus because of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think I got HBO Max just because we were going to talk about Justice League, and
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
every month I'm going like I'm canceling this month, but I've kept it. I'm keeping it. But no, it's just like if it's a $5 or $7 service, that's easier to go down than a $15 service.
Yeah.
Monthly. If you have 3 or 4 $15 services, all of a sudden you're looking at a cable, a low cable bill.
Yeah.
So it's like I think for people who it like it's not mandatory that you're going to have Netflix.
Yeah.
It's more of a okay. It's only $6. It's only only this amount. I think having that lower uh, budget version, I think it's a good idea. Like um, it's like I like Hulu. Uh,
Mhm.
the Hulu I watch has ads. I just
Yeah, they have
watch
a
TikTok
Hulu.
during
They have a
the
Hulu with ads. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not mad at it. I probably wouldn't have Hulu already, I'll just be
Mhm.
skipping Hulu. So yeah, I'm digging it. Like
Mhm.
being kind of a lower price version. Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all.
Speaking of ads, a little shameless plug. We have a new YouTube channel that I want to let people know about. If you subscribe to our live stream channel, that's our current YouTube channel that we've had now for quite a while. That's been rebranded as Thunderpop Live.
Oh,
But
awesome.
you can now subscribe to our new YouTube channel, which is all for all the short form of content. So stuff that's 10 minutes or less. That's
Yeah,
Thunderpop TV. That's Thunderpop TV channel. So find
yeah.
us on YouTube at Thunderpop TV, and subscribe to that channel because many of you were really nice to subscribe to Thunderpop Live, but we're going to be putting a lot of new stuff content wise. It's even more varied than what we do on the live channel on Thunderpop TV. So come over. We already got there's already some videos on there. So yeah, that's a little plug is Thunderpop Live. Of course, we're always at Thunderpop TV on Instagram and TikTok. So little plug in there. Okay, last one on the agree or disagree. And I have two possible questions, but I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna do this one. So we talked about streaming a lot in this hour. Movie theaters this summer, the big hit was surprisingly to a lot of people was Top Gun Maverick. It was a huge success, and at the box office, it's the biggest movie of this year. It surpassed Multiverse of Madness, and
Yeah.
it's what they call it's a new version of sequel. They call it legacy sequels. And the legacy sequel, I would assume, is a sequel that is many, 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 many years later after the original. So in that respect, Cobra Kai for could be considered a legacy sequel.
I
So
can go with that. And I don't mind. Yeah, that's a good term for it.
yeah. So with that, and now Top Gun Maverick, a legacy sequel. There's been some others that would probably go in that category of legacy sequel. But with Hollywood being a copycat league, uh, as the term goes in the NFL. Do you think the next wave of things that they're going to be with the hit that Top Gun was, are we going to see a slew? Do you agree or disagree? We're about to see a slew of more legacy sequels off of 80s and 90s IPs. And I tried to come up with a list and I'll give you a couple that I think could be ripe for the picking. One, of course, they're starting to get a little bit lean because they've already hit the big ones. Top Gun, Karate
Yeah.
Kid. We've had new Rocky movies in recent years, or at least Rocky spinoffs. So we kind of had the Rocky Legacy sequels. So those are the big 80s, like Star Wars obviously is there. It's been there continuously. So now you're starting to look at what's next, what's left. Okay, I got Short Circuit. I think you can come up with a Short Circuit legacy sequel. Gremlins, maybe a new Gremlins movie. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree that this is going to be the next wave?
Oh, uh, yeah, that could be it. Okay, how about Breakfast Club, the prison show?
Oh, is it there's a
Instead of
cast in jail?
detention, they're in a detention center. Yes, but they all find their way to jail by different means. Some
Oh man.
ironic, some kind of just horrible. But they're all in prison and
I definitely
uh,
think that's a Funny or Die. That's a
hijinks.
funny that I definitely think it's at least a Funny or Die short film. So I mean, that could happen. That's what Ralph Macchio did a Funny or Die with his playing himself as Ralph Macchio years before Cobra Kai came out, and it was kind of making fun of himself. It was pretty funny.
Oh
So
damn!
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's one more potential Anchorman movie that could be. Did you see the camera did what it did?
Yeah.
The camera just zoomed.
It just walked away, bro.
It just come back, Cam. Why are you leaving? The show's not over, Cam.
We're not done.
Talking to a camera. I'm talking to the AI camera that's now become a cast member on our show. But you said you called it on our last show when I first rolled out Cam, and you said this Cam has now
Yeah.
suddenly become a character on a show.
Oh, he's gonna take it over, man. You already know my opinion on sentient Roombas.
Oh, I've got, it's funny. This ties into our final thoughts and advice question. Um, so you think legacy sequels, is that the next wave? Agree, disagree? Is it happening?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like some of them are gonna be good, some of them are gonna be horrible. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because of the nostalgia or if it's that good or that bad, but Karate Kid, like Cobra Kai I enjoyed it, like I can't say
Mhm.
they're all gonna be bad, but I would at least check out some of these legacy sequels. But
Mannequin? Could there be
I have a feeling
a new
there's gonna be some stickers.
the new Mannequin movie? I think Mannequin 3 goes straight to Netflix. Mannequin, the store closes because they go out of business, and the department store closes and go out of business. They liquidate. The mannequin is boxed up in a warehouse, and some warehouse worker finds the mannequin and falls in love with the mannequin. And boom, there's your legacy sequel. The mannequin's back to life all over again. Weekend. Oh, I got one. I got one. Weekend at Bernie's 3. Weekend at Bernie's.
Wait, you cut out. Oh, okay, I could see that.
Weekend at Bernie's 3. That could be another one. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I know. Okay. Well, you know what the next one's going to actually probably be, because they've been working on it for several years, is Beverly Hills Cop 4. That's
Oh,
actually
I
supposed to
thought you were going
happen.
to say Beverly Hillbillies. There was
Oh,
almost a Beverly Hillbillies reality show, but they got a lot of
uh,
feedback about kind of being exploitive, you know. Uh,
uh,
but
yeah,
yeah, they were just going to put some poor people in a mansion
yeah,
in Beverly Hills. I was like, that would be like TLC or E. And like,
yeah. That might already exist. Yeah, it's like you said, that kind of already exists. It's been rebranded as TLC and E.
yeah, it
That
definitely seems like it would be on one of those networks.
Yeah, that's where it would be. Yeah. They're like exploitive. Where do we get this? Where can we order a season of this? When TLC hears exploitive, they're like, where can we order a whole 2 seasons of this? Bring us the pilot now. Oh, we don't even need the pitch. We don't even need that. We don't even need to see a trailer. You said exploitive. Bring it to us. It's picked up. It's green lit. Give us. We'll put in a 20 episode order right now. We'll write the check. Who do we write the check to? That's TLC. They're like, okay. Oh boy. Okay. So closing out, thoughts and advice. Really, the thoughts and advice is just my thought on an interview I listened to on the radio earlier when I was driving to run an errand. Don McLean, I believe is his name. He was the original artist that recorded the American Pie song, the classic American Pie.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was still around. He was doing an interview on the radio earlier because he's going to be doing a show here in town. He wrote that song, which is a classic song, and
Yeah.
he sounded great on the radio. I don't know how old he would be at this point in time, but the legend Don McLean talked about how he feels like that about 5-10 years from now, it's just a matter of time before a computer will be able to write and produce its own songs that are going to be better than anything any human has ever created, because he thinks they're going to be able to take all these things in from Mozart to the Beatles to Prince and put it into their AI, and also everything they know about us, because we're constantly being mined for our what's on our head, and they're going to be spitting out these songs, he said, left and right. What do you think about that? What's your thought on that? It's pretty provocative thought.
Man, like you've seen some of those AI written books or like
Yeah.
prose, and I think there's been some like song lyrics like they're doing with AI stuff already. Uh, I would not be surprised, and it'd be funny if it starts. You start like on your Spotify, you get like individual AI written songs for
Yeah.
you, like it knows what you're searching for on the internet.
Yeah.
It knows how you feel.
Well, they said that same interview. They said that same interview that it's as soon as AI can get create their own emotion, like where they have their own emotion, that's it. It's over. And it was agreed upon between the
Well,
interviewer and Don McLean.
Man,
What do you think?
I mentioned Roombas before, but a friend of
Yeah.
mine has a Roomba, and
Hmm.
their carpet has like these large black dots on it. The
Yeah.
Roomba will not go across those because they think that's a hole, and it
Yeah.
will avoid it. So
Yeah.
that Roomba doesn't want to die. Like it doesn't want to get
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, that's not full
Hmm.
sentience, but it's that's close.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, but then I've always said like, okay, if I had a Roomba and I'm just a little bit more messy than normal, few more crumbs or stuff, is that Roomba just feel like it's living its life purpose and doing its vacuuming, or is it starting to like resent me? Like why is this guy? Okay, Cam, I'm joking, bruh. You know.
I actually, I did that. I did that. I was messing with you.
Okay.
I did it this time. We're starting to become boys now.
Oh, go Cam.
Oh boy. Cam. Cam. Oh yeah. Well, here we go. It's a wrap up. 159. Jazz One, thank you so much. You took me away from things that are going on, and it's been a rough day, it's been a rough couple of weeks, but especially today there's been a lot to process.
Yeah.
But it's nice for me to get away for an hour and be able to talk to you and laugh a little
Galaxy
bit.
far, far away for a little bit. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm glad, man. Like you were here
Yeah.
for me about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I completely understand, man.
I appreciate that, man. Let's do a holocron trip. Get together, go to holocron soon.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
hey, by the way, is that a financial, gonna be a financial disaster for us that there's a holocron in our town now that we're
Yeah,
never gonna
I
financially recover
reached out
from?
there doing talking to them, but had to spend some money there. But
Hmm.
yeah, they said that store there is doing better than their first store in Fort Worth. Like they're
I
already
saw
making
that.
more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I think they're in a more prime
So
location than the one in the Dallas Fort Worth area, because I saw the one in Dallas, but when I was there, it was closed. But it's in a
yeah.
kind of a little tucked away area that you would really have to know where it's at to be able to find it in Fort Worth, near a railroad track, I believe,
Oh yeah.
but behind the hotels and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, but now they're like in a shopping center. Yeah, so any of those of you that might not know, Holocron, the biggest Star Wars memorabilia store in the country. They claim that's what their claim is.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's just an all Star Wars store,
yeah,
whether it's action figures,
yeah. It's
clothes,
toys.
in Star Wars, yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So, did you see? By the way, before we jump off, did they have Star Wars like for little kids, like T-shirts, like size, like for a 5-year-old? Did you see any kid stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Okay. Cool.
A lot of stuff like visually at the level of a 5-year-old too, so they
Yeah.
they will want it and grab it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There'll be a lot of stuff that I will want and want to grab it. I want to grab.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm trying not to spend money, but man, I did, yeah, drop 40 there without even intending to. But yeah, definitely seen some stuff. Let me go back and get though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Holocron.
glad
So
they're
yeah, if
here
you're
though. Yeah.
we're so lucky to get one here. Only the second one they've ever opened, and they're down in
Yeah.
Fort Worth. And they've got one in Austin, and they said they're glad they opened here. It's they're already the busier store now of the two.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, how cool is that? Everyone out there, have a good day. Hour, second, millisecond. Jazz One, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful one. The rest of your week, and we'll be wrapping up season 7 in next at the beginning of July. So hang in there with us, and let's do the closeout. Where's you at? Where are you at? Outro. I'm looking for you. We'll stall until I find the outro. This is what happens when you produce the show that you also host, is that you have all these awkward. Oh, here it is. Okay, good. Thunderpop is a Hit the Bricks production.